Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning, and good to have you on for our Q&A. How you doing? We appreciate you guys. Thanks. As you get your notifications, I see a few people are coming on. I don't see your names anymore, but I don't know if they changed that just because it was bothering them that I was having my little roll call in the morning. So yesterday I went out and I just afterwards I looked at the list of names and I'm saying hello. Look, I know I'm going to miss people here, so I don't. Let's say hello though to a few people. We're going to say hello to Kevin, who's out in New Brunswick, and he's sort of the mayor of our private Facebook group. And thanks, Kevin, for just being such a good sport and getting people together. And he called Olga. I know a lot of you have been worried about her and praying for her, and we thank you for that. And Olga, I don't know if Olga's on this morning, but if she is, good morning to you. And Brahim and Yolande and Georgie and Nick from our staff, I'm assuming, and Deb and Milika and Medlen, how are you? Kevin, I already said that. Donna, I think that we got a couple of Donnas usually. Nellie and Nativity and Carrie from Nebraska and Maria and Doc McEwen, Helga, Herma, Fran, Marl from Ottawa, Dorothy, Judy, Gail, Marlene, Giovanna, Vince, Sandra, Mary, Corrine, Pat, okay, and Frida, Evangeline, Francis, Brandon, Martine, Bruno, Leela, Karen, Dave, Maureen, Marla, Caroline, Crystal, Cecilia. Did I miss anybody? I'm sure I have, okay? And leave comments afterwards, okay? Because I only got a few yesterday. Okay, so today's Q&A. Let's get to our questions as more folks are coming on here. Let me just get these out and we'll go to email here. And as they come up, okay, let's see. Here they are. Okay, Claude, you mentioned low cortisol is dangerous. Well, I don't know if it's dangerous, high cortisol or low cortisol. Usually when you see low cortisol, Claude, your adrenals obviously are not working properly, but I find, okay, if they're high all the time, eventually you're going to blow those adrenals out, okay? Now, low cortisol levels, to some extent dangerous. Yeah, well, listen, really affects your health big time. But it comes from the same thing in the sense that cortisol is part of your circadian rhythm. It's cyclical with your, higher in the morning and then it starts to go down and it follows your circadian rhythm. But if it's too high all the time, you get stress and anxiety and all sorts of symptoms and brain fog, and you can get muscle pain and digestive issues and joint issues and exhaustion. And low cortisol is usually exhaustion. I found that in chronic fatigue syndrome. Adrenal gland exhaustion. It was almost like the battery packs were burnt out. They would get sleep disturbances. Even though they were exhausted, they never got into the REM sleep. That can, create a cascade of problems. So lower, I mean, you can get Cushing's, where that is an actual disorder of the adrenal glands. And I've seen that before. And anyway, yeah. And I would treat it, look, with, I call the metabolic storm. You got to look at everything there, Claude. I look at, I take out my little chart. I used to do this with my patients. Let me see if I have it here. Usually I have it somewhere. But I have the chart of in the pyramid. I used to do this in my office. Thyroid, pancreas, right down the middle, on the sides, the ovaries, estrogen and progesterone for a men, right down the middle, testosterone, and then I had the adrenals, cortisol, and you know, with the pancreas, insulin, the thyroid, you need to fix all of that because that usually gets really messed up in a category 5 storm, metabolic storm. Food, the reset, cut out the sugars. Sometimes because cortisol is low, they had to eat more frequently. But protein, not crappy carbs, because that's what they feel like eating. They want a quick fix, and you got to keep them away from that. And so it's fixing all the thyroid, you're fixing the adrenals, you're fixing the pancreas, the insulin, you're fixing the liver when you lay off the sugars. And the liver is important because of the thyroid, especially. T4 is converted to T3 there. So they're all connected, Claude. All those symptoms can be part of low cortisol, adrenal exhaustion, okay? And a lot of people suffer from that. Okay, Susan, I was just told that I have a 9mm spur, okay? A spur on your heel. I saw that a lot in my office. I saw x-rays of it. Spurs there, no fun. Well, here's what I would do, Susan, okay? One, anytime you get an itis, okay, plantar fasciitis, you might have that too. Anytime you have an itis, lay off the sugar. So food-wise, lay off the sugar. Supplement-wise, I would have you probably on curcumin, high DHA, very anti-inflammatory. So is Navitol, pine bark extract, anti-inflammatory, okay? That. Now, foot-wise, in order to break down that calcium spur, tennis ball or whatever, roll your foot and roll the whole foot. And very good. You need to pad that heel. Okay? Pad that heel. So, I don't think you have to spend a fortune in orthotics. I really like a real good arch support. Get the because what happens, okay? And I'm just going to give you an illustration of this. You get flattening of the metatarsal arch in the front of the foot. It flattens. Now all the pressure is put in the back at the heel, underneath here, the foot, okay? Pretend my hand's the foot. So you want to lift the front part up, that metatarsal arch. Lift the metatarsal arch up. It will make a difference on the heel. But this isn't going to happen overnight, okay? I like vitamin K2 to break calcium down, okay? So vitamin D with K2 is good for that, okay? If you want to avoid surgery, Susan, because a lot of times with surgery, and I've seen this over the years, the thing comes back because you haven't fixed the metatarsal arch. where it originated. Okay. Barbara, hello. My husband just started the diet in January, eggs, meat, and cheese. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Before or after? Okay. It's going well. It's really working. Less sugar. The cancer is disappearing. Good for him. He was taking a medication for cholesterol in April, and he had to stop weeks later and had a heart attack. Yikes. I would like to understand what happened to my husband. Was it his bad cholesterol that was too high that caused the heart attack? Well, Barbara, if it was, he'd be the first. Okay? And again, there's two schools of thought. Okay? We went over this even yesterday. Cholesterol has been around for a long time. Your body can't live without it. You need cholesterol. Your body makes cholesterol. 85% of your cholesterol comes from within. And you're responsible to eat the other 15%. I tell people that I know you're going to get away with it. Let's say you're a vegetarian and you don't eat any cholesterol. Well, your body still makes 85%. Doesn't mean you're going to die. But you're making a big mistake. You don't want to be low in cholesterol. Okay? Now, again, what happened to your husband didn't happen in something overnight. Okay, Barbara? Like, it takes a long time to get plaque built up. But it's not cholesterol. Like, blaming cholesterol is like blaming the police because they're at the crime scene. You're always going to see cholesterol in the blood. That's where it belongs. It's a transporter. It's a healer. It's like the firemen. They're at the scene of the fire. Well, don't blame the firemen. They didn't start the fire. They're there to repair. So again, you have schools of thought, okay? Cholesterol, the boogeyman, and cholesterol, the good guy. I'm a cholesterol good guy. And the problem I find is not cholesterol, it's triglycerides and low cholesterol. Okay? If you would get me those numbers, Barbara, I can give you a little bit better indication. But you want to understand what happened to him. It didn't come from his diet of eating eggs, meat, and cheese. Okay? It doesn't come from that. Sugar, I don't know what he was like before. I have no idea. But it takes a long time to develop plaque. Plaque doesn't come overnight. Okay? So, anyway, I look at triglycerides. I look at HDL. And there's a whole school of thought on that. And I'm in that camp. But I always have been. It's not like I just got converted. You see cardiologists some are getting converted because they're reading, they're studying, and they're looking at the statistics. What have statin drugs done for us? Not much. Heart disease is worse than ever. It's because they're looking for love in all the wrong places. And Barbara, because if cholesterol was at the root of heart disease, we would have fixed it already. It's worse than ever. I rest my case. It's not working. Okay? So, anyway, good question. Xena, I had H. pylori. Okay, so H. pylori is a bacteria found in the gut, stomach, and would you suggest a different test other than a breast test, a breath test for yeast? Well, I'm just trying to figure out, Xena, because H. pylori is a bacteria you can get a test done for it to see if you have it, and you say you have it, okay? Now, Where yeast comes in, not in the stomach, the yeast comes in the small intestine, and it's called small intestine overgrowth, fungal overgrowth, okay? We gave it that name, and I'm right about that. It's not a bacteria there, it's a fungus. That's in your small intestine. It's used to be called SIBO, we call it SIFO. Small intestine fungal overgrowth, okay? You can get a test done for SIBO, and there is bacteria there, but you better get rid of the fungus because that's the key. Okay. How long to see a difference once you start your probiotics? Well, you should start, and you're taking the Ultra Digestol, which is our digestive enzymes specifically formulated to help with the acidity in your stomach and to get rid of SIFO. Kills fungus with the probiotic and the L-reuteri and L-rhamnosus that is part of our immune boosting formula in the probiotic. How long will it take, Zena? Do it for several months. You want to make sure you kill that yeast. Yeast is very hardy. Don't feed it. Don't give it any sugar. And between the digestive enzymes, and again, our digestive enzymes are designed specifically to increase the acidity in your stomach, to break down protein. It has many forms of protease, lipase, and amylase. It's a broad spectrum enzyme. Plus, oil of oregano. We put it right in there. Okay? To kill what? They kill the fungus. Okay? So get on, keep doing it, and I would do it for several months. You want to clear that, and it will help kill your H. pylori too. Okay, Colleen, I've had dizzy spells that continue for months. Could it be balance issues with the spine? It's possible. It's possible. The other thing, and we've been writing about this in our emails, Colleen, check your B12. And the reason I say it is because the B12 tests, by the way, the blood tests, they're so unbelievably poor. Guys, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, okay? Because I looked at blood work for years, okay? Years and years and years, okay? And I never just relied on blood work. I like blood work. I like to see it. But when it came to, I'll give you an example, magnesium, okay? People come in, they had magnesium blood tests. I said, yeah. But I don't look at that so much. Why? Because magnesium, there's a little bit in your blood, but most of it's going to be in your tissue, not in your blood. And your blood tests for magnesium levels are very unreliable. Okay? Now, why? Because magnesium belongs in your tissue, not in your blood. Okay? There's a little bit in your blood. Now, the same goes for B12. For years, doctors, I hate to say this, they rarely look at B12 anymore. It's not an important vitamin to them. It used to be, even in medical schools, in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, they taught physicians, hey, B12, extremely important. Body can't work without it. Your nerves don't work without it. Your brain doesn't work without it. It's a big factor in diabetes and everything else. Okay, so B12. But they hardly look at it. Oh, you're normal. And we've been explaining to people for years that B12 belongs in your cells. Yeah, there's B12 in your blood, but B12 in your blood don't do you much good. It belongs in your cells. That's where does you a lot of good. So the measurement they use, okay, the measurement that they use, it's 100 years old. They should put it to bed. And that's why I want elevated B12, optimized B12. And that is why, too, that I'm really, really focused in on symptoms, because symptoms trump your blood test when it comes to B12. And one of the things is dizziness. Anything with around the mouth symptoms, usually, not always, but often, signs, paresthesia, diabetic neuropathy, any kind of neuropathy, usually low levels of cellular B12. It ain't in your cells. It's not protecting your nerves. So you're talking about dizziness. It could be your spine, could be your cranial nerves. But it also could be low levels of B12, okay? So, balance issues with the spine. Possibly, Colleen, possibly. Get it checked out for sure. Okay. Lise, I did a sensitivity test and was flagged for pine bark. Should I stay away from Navital? No, because it's an extract. Okay? I know people, pine trees, they bother me. But the extract won't. Okay? It's like soy. You know me. I don't like soy. But the extract of soy, okay, is actually good for your hormones. Soy isoflavones. It's an extract. So, I don't like you eating soy. You don't need it. But the extract actually helps to balance your hormones. And Navital is a pine bark extract. And that extract ain't going to bother you. I had a lot of people, pine needles bother me. Well, I know, okay? And stay away from the pine needles if they bother you. But the extract out of the bark is not going, it's actually very good for your allergies. It's a natural antihistamine along with quercetin, okay? Thank you for the question, Lise. Anna, I was taking 5 DHA upgraded. Oh, you're smart. Very good for your brain. And developed irregular heartbeat. That's a coincidence. It would be the opposite. DHA is good for your heart. DHA is good for lubrication. DHA is good for your brain. DHA is good for your eyes. If you developed an irregular heartbeat, you got another issue coming. You may be low in CoQ10. You might have developed atrial fib, and I did a whole podcast or two on atrial fib, and I talk about the deficiency of CoQ10 because people don't eat enough steak. Magnesium, oftentimes low levels of magnesium can cause that. And again, the problem is with the blood test and magnesium, who cares if magnesium's in your blood? You want it in your tissue. You want it in your heart. You want it in your brain. Okay. Anna, that was you. Okay. Jacques, from breast cancer after chemo treatment, a whole slew of natural treatments, now apparently cancer-free. The lump has moved up to the upper chest and is 3 centimeters round and is hard, painless. My question to Dr. Martin, what would be in the lump? Well, look, don't biopsy it. You want to spread. Anyway, I don't want to get too controversial, Jacques, but a lot of times there can be scar tissue in there, dead cells. inside the cell, inside if it's the lump. I mean, are there dead cancer cells in there? Possibly. Alive cancer cells in there? Possibly. It depends. And, you know, at the end of the day, Joe, because you're asking, how do you get rid of it? Well, you want to avoid growth factors. Here are two hormones that once you're dead and want cancer to grow and want tumors to grow. Okay? Insulin, it's a growth hormone. Estrogen, it's a growth hormone. Block them. Lower insulin. How do you lower insulin? Low carb. Crappy carbs. Stay away from the breads, the pasta, the noodles, the muffins, the bagels, the cereal. Don't drink milk. Nothing sugary. Okay? Drink water and coffee. That's what I want you to drink. Okay? And you're doing the DHA, you're doing the Navitol, good for you. Oregano, Boswellia, I like them all. Good for you. I like what you're doing, Jacques. Keep it up. Grace. What causes oral lichen planus? That's an autoimmune. Leaky gut. Fungus in the mouth. Lichen planus. It's a yeast. It's a fungal. But where did it come from originally? Leaky gut. I saw a lot of lichen planus. Oral, vaginal, lichen planus, fungal. Get rid of the fungus. Do the fungus protocol. Probiotic. Don't feed the bears. Don't give any sugar to yeast at all because it's like a teenager or kids. They love sugar. Okay? But sugar don't love them. And it feeds the bears. Don't feed the bears. Oil of oregano. Big time. Okay? So that's what I would do, Grace. Dorothy. I lay in my bathtub. Backside down. Okay? Feet together. Hanging on the bar. You got a bar there? Okay? Okay. And I lift myself 3 to 6 times every day. What do you think? That's a good, hey? You're getting stronger, Dorothy? I'm on your side. Okay? I'm on your side. Get stronger. If that helps you, certainly going to help your arms. Go for it. Very good for you. Get stronger, guys. You can get bands. You don't have to go to a gym. If you go to a gym, good for you. I like that too. But anything to get stronger. And I like moving. I like walking. I do that. Okay, but you need muscle. Be strong. Very important. Good for you. That's what I think of it, Dorothy. I like it. Teresa, you have chronic atrophic gastritis. I know you say EMC, but isn't fat bad for gastritis? Nope, it's not. Now, fat, you have to be careful if you have gallstones. You know, because, and you get gallstones, by the way, because you didn't eat fat. You use your gallbladder or lose it. But gastritis, the worst thing for gastritis, which is an inflammation of the stomach, okay? Gastritis, the lining in the stomach has become inflamed. Sugar is the worst for that, okay? And you get a lot of acid produced, and you need acid. But you get a gastritis when you don't have enough acidity in the stomach and your body's making more. It's trying to make up for the pH that has elevated because of eating the wrong foods. Guys, I talk about this all the time. Your stomach is more acidic, or at least it should be, than a lion's. Your pH should be about 1.3. Okay? It does really well. I mean, put a penny, it'll dissolve it in your stomach, or it should. Take the acid out of your stomach, and it'll burn a hole in your kitchen table. That's how acidic your stomach should be. And you want your stomach acidity. Now, gastritis could be caused by, too, that H. pylori. But again, your stomach was designed like a lion's. Well, it's even more acidic than that. And lions don't go around eating plants. They go around eating other animals. They're carnivore. But your stomach was designed. And when you don't eat meat, enough of it, you don't eat enough eggs, and you don't eat enough dairy, your pH changes. Doesn't happen overnight, but it happens. And then the pH comes up, you're not acidic enough, and that irritates the lining of your gut, of your stomach, I mean. Your stomach needs to be acidic so that you can break that protein down, to take all those amino acids and make them bioavailable for your body. And so gastritis, I mean, a couple of things you do while you have gastritis. I like aloe vera. I like the aloe vera juice. It soothes. It's like when you have a sunburn, and think of a sunburn inside your stomach. Temporarily, you can use some aloe vera to coat the stomach. But at the end of the day, it's not fat that causes gastritis, and fat doesn't aggravate gastritis. It's all those vegetables and sugars and crappy carbs. And again, you can have some vegetables. I'm not saying that. But people that get gastritis is because they weren't eating the right foods. You're designed, you're not a cow. A cow has 4 stomachs to eat vegetables and salad. You need 4 stomachs. That's what cows eat every day. Rabbits, they have an enzyme called cellulase. You don't have that. You don't have that. Why? Because you ain't a rabbit. That's why. Follow a rabbit around. What do they eat? Salad. They like to get into your garden. Okay. Charlotte, I've got polycystic kidney disease. Okay. I've been following you and trying to reverse it. What would you recommend to slow or stop cyst progression? Well, don't feed the bears in there either. Look, the worst thing on chronic kidney disease is sugar. There's nothing that kills your kidneys more than sugar does. Because of microcirculation. So polycystic, okay, disease, I would cut the insulin down to nothing. I would, estrogen is a growth hormone. Women have lots of it. There's too much around us. I would try and block it with DIM. Okay, our menopausal formula has DIM. I like flax seeds. Why do I like flax seeds? Because of lignans. Lignans block extra estrogen. Okay, insulin's a growth hormone. Sugar elevates insulin and destroys kidneys. And Charlotte, drink. Kidneys, Niagara Falls. Drink a lot of water. Niagara Falls. Flush flush those kidneys. Okay, Sherry is asking a question. What does the doctor think about old silver fillings removed? Be careful. Be careful. I've seen some real toxicity when they got those things removed. Now, there are certain dentists that they sort of specialize in that. I used to measure for heavy metals, and as long as the filling isn't broken, I was very reticent to touch that stuff. Okay, now you don't have to get silver fillings anymore. I know dentists are hard to change their mind. I wish they wouldn't use that stuff. Okay. I again, very precautionary. I'm very careful because I've seen people where they got that stuff and their silver metal in their body went up big time because it spilt over. Should I be doing a detox? Well, yeah, like the best way to detox is keep your liver empty. Your body knows how to detox itself. You have a detox machine. You have a self-cleaning oven. You have it in your brain and your liver. They work to clean. Your liver, as long as it's not full of fat, will detoxify. And one of the best ways to do a detoxification is probiotics. Their bacteria help to detoxify your body of heavy metal and the carriers of heavy metal, which is fungus. Don't feed it. Yeast is a carrier. Okay. Oh, Susan is? Okay, we got Susan talking about the development of gallstones. I've been following EMC for 9 months, have lost 70 pounds. It's good, and many more to go. But I just had an ultrasound, and they saw gallstones. Well, they've been probably there, Susan, for a long time. Use it or lose it, okay? And sometimes gallstones, especially in women, when they sometimes get stones because of progesterone is very important for smooth muscle, okay? Your bladder and your gallbladder. And a lot of times after a baby, mommy would get gallstones. And two things. One, your gallbladder was meant to be used because God wanted you to eat animal fat. Your gallbladder is a little reservoir for bile. Bile helps to emulsify fat. Just like think of dish soap, right? What does it do? Well, it helps to pick up the grease, right? It emulsifies the fat. And you want to, your bile is very important for you to emulsify your fat so you can pick up your fat soluble vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K2. You want to pick that up. So your gallbladder is very important for that. When you get stones, okay, can happen in women on progesterone, but here's the major cause of gallstones in women. They don't eat enough animal fat or dairy fat because they believe the lie that salad is better than steak. No, it's not. They believe the lie that salad is better than an egg. No, it's not. They believe the lie that salad is better than cheese. No, it's not. Okay? And when you live on fat-free food, including chicken, chicken and salad, look, you can have chicken, but eat the skin. But that's why do you think gallbladder problems, look, your gallbladder's been around as long as man has been around, okay? But gallbladders problems are up, 100%. Why? Well, too much estrogen and not enough progesterone, and we're eating the wrong foods, okay? So, Susan, you might have to be careful a little bit with your EMC and fat, but those gallstones might dissolve on their own, and because you're using the bile now. It's not just sitting there. Okay. Jerry, do you have a protocol for aphasia? Aphasia, often happens. I think of aphasia, Bruce Willis has got aphasia. Now, I think he has a neurodegenerative condition of his brain caused by, I don't know, virus or whatever. And he can't talk. Okay? That's aphasia. And like my protocol would be anything up in the brain, the neurodegenerative, the first thing would be a combination of DHA and Navital. Okay? It happens after a stroke at times too, right? You try and regenerate that brain as much as possible. Okay, let me just see here. I think I'm not going to get to everything. So why don't we do the rest of it on Monday? I think that's what we'll do. Yeah, I got too many here. I don't think I'm going to get done. Okay, that's what we're going to do, guys. Now, I did this list. Okay. I got all these names. I know I missed so many of you, okay? I wanted to say hello. I missed the roll call. Again, guys, a new update or a bug on, I don't know, okay? I just know other podcasters like me have been complaining about it, okay? That we can't see the scroll anymore, okay? So what can I do about it? I don't know. Nothing that I have done has helped. But I want to say hello to you guys, and we love you. I guess I can't always do it individually like I used to because I used to see it. Now I don't see it. It goes by me so fast I can't see it. Okay? I don't see your comments. I don't see that anymore. I used to see sometimes. And when I asked you a question, remember, I can't even do a quiz anymore. I can't. Because I can't see your answers. I can only look at it afterwards. Okay. Okay, so Monday we'll do Q&A and maybe, I don't know, we'll see. We might have a couple of minutes to see any new questions if they come in where I can see them. Okay? Remember, tell your friends about the Martin Clinic private Facebook group. If you don't get our emails, boy, we've been talking about B12, doing a deep dive. Really, really good emails, if I don't say so myself. My son, he's so smart, okay? He is. He's like his mother, okay? Very smart, okay? And he loves those emails. He likes writing them up, and him and I do it. And anyway, okay? If you don't get our emails, go to martinclinic.com and sign up for email. Tell everybody about the Doctors In podcast on your favorite smart device. And you can re-listen to these editions right there on your smart device, okay? And your favorite platform. Give us a 5-star review on that. And you know why? Because it helps the algorithm. And then they share the podcast even more. Okay? Thanks for showing us your love. We appreciate it, and we love you dearly. Talk to you soon.